And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics. And now here's your host, Robert Cardoza.
And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And you know what? I tell you every day, we got a great show for you. Truth is, we got a great show for you. It's going to be fantastic. You're going to love every part of it. Today, we're going to do what we always do. We're going to talk about what's in the news. There's a lot of that. New legislation, the IRS Loses. We're going to talk about our new segment, the rest of the story with the great late Paul Harvey. You know what? Today's story is going to be telltale, and you're going to be surprised at the ending of it, just like you always are. And then, of course, our special guest today is going to be our own Dr. Wireless, Joel Saltzman. He'll be here talking about new wireless technology. And I'm going to be telling you how to get out of embarrassing situations. And then I'm going to also give you some gift-giving do's and don'ts, plus a lot more things besides that. But right now, I want you to know that at 3:01 p.m. Pacific time, it is currently 67 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California, warming up a little bit. Nice blue sky out there. The low is going to be 57, which is a lot warmer than usual, that's for sure. But you know what? Let's talk about the news. Like I said, there's a lot of it. And right off the top, rancorous Senate silencing gives Warren a national boost. You know, the turbulent national debate over race, gender, and free speech consumed the nationally stayed Senate on Wednesday or today after the GOP majority voted to silence Senator Elizabeth Warren, abruptly elevating her celebrity status at a moment when liberals are hungry for a leader to take on Donald Trump. The highly unusual rebuke of the Massachusetts Democrats came as the Senate weighed President Trump's nominee for Attorney General, GOP Senator Jeff Sessions of Alabama, who seemed headed toward a nearly party line confirmation today or this evening. It also gave frustrated Democrats a rallying cry weeks into the presidency that is dividing the country like few before. I certainly hope that this anti-free speech attitude is not traveling down Pennsylvania Avenue to our great chamber. Senate minority leader Chuck Schumer of New York warned darkly as Democrats jumped at the opening to link the GOP's conduct to that of Trump himself. This is not what America is about, silencing speech, especially in this chamber. Republicans argued that they were just trying to enforce necessary rules of decorum in a Senate that is a last bulwark of civil debate in an angry nation. You know what? They say, I hope that maybe we've all been chastened a little bit. Chided the number 2 Senate Republican John Cornyn of Texas. We're at a petty, challenging time in our nation's history when many people who were surprised and disappointed at the last election are unwilling to accept the results. I only hope that after the passage of some time, they will return to their senses. But the debate immediately took on overtones of race and gender. Warren was rebuked as she was reading a letter by Martin Luther King Jr.'s widow, Coretta Scott King, opposing Sessions' ultimately unsuccessful nomination to a federal judgeship in 1986. Subsequently, several male Democratic senators stood up and read from the same letter, but without drawing objections, leading Democratic activists to proclaim that Senate Republicans were interested only in silencing a woman. Wow. Can you imagine? How I don't think I have anything I can say about that. I can tell you this, though. Sessions is on track for confirmation over the Democratic criticism. The Republican-led Senate worked nonstop today toward a confirmation vote on Senator Jeff Sessions, Jefferson Sessions, President Donald Trump's pick for Attorney General, who faced a firestorm of Democratic criticism over his record on civil rights and other issues. Democrats contended Sessions is too close to Trump, too harsh on immigrants, and weak on civil rights. They asserted that he wouldn't do enough to protect voting rights of minorities, protections for gay people, the right of women to procure abortions, and immigrants in the country illegally to receive due process. Well, Republicans say that Sessions has demonstrated over a long career in public service and 2 decades in the Senate that he possesses integrity, honesty, and is committed to justice and the rule of law. He's honest, he's fair, He's been a friend to many of us on both sides of the aisle. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, the Republican from Kentucky, said on just this morning, it's been tough to watch all this good man has been put through in recent weeks. This is a well-qualified colleague with a deep reverence for the law. He believes strongly in the equal application of it to everyone. Well, time will tell, because there's no question about this. He is going to be approved. He's going to be the next Attorney General. Just, will he be fair? Will he be honest? Will he protect the Constitution and all of those of us that are under it? Well, will the court compound travel ban whiplash, or will they calm it? President Donald Trump, his travel ban and a judge's stunning decision to temporarily block it a week later have left the nation with whiplash, shifting attention from protests at airports nationwide to Trump questioning the judge's legitimacy on social media. The Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals will now decide whether the executive order immediately gets reinstated after 3 judges heard arguments yesterday. If they let the president go forward with the ban, it could compound the whiplash. The order suspending the nation's refugee program and immigration from 7 mostly Muslim countries would take effect once again. But the courts could still strike it down later amid a legal challenge by Washington State and Minnesota. A decision has been promised within days. Boy, I hope so. Let's just get, either way, let's just get past this. This is crazy. Just bad stuff, right? Yeah. All right, you know what? A 1902 fist fight gave rise to the arcane rule that silenced Senator Warren. A fist fight on the Senate floor involving 2 Southern gentlemen gave rise to Rule 19, the arcane Senate directive that Republicans used more than a century later to silence Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren. The GOP lawmakers rebuked Warren last night for speaking against colleague and Attorney General nominee Jeff Sessions. She was silenced for reading the letter that Coretta Scott King wrote 3 decades ago, criticizing the Alabama senator's record on race. Senators barred Warren from speaking on the Senate floor until Sessions' confirmation vote. Wow. Can you imagine? You know what? Conduct unbecoming. Rule 19 states that senators may not directly or indirectly by any form of words impute to another senator or to other senators any conduct or motive unworthy of unbecoming a senator. It states that when, in the opinion of the presiding officer, a senator violates that decorum, the presiding officer shall call him to order and he shall take his seat. Wow. Can you imagine? Well, you know what? Let's take a short break. When we come back, let's talk about the dual Somali U.S. citizen elected president in a historic vote. Yeah, you're going to want to hear about this. We'll be right back after these brief messages. Don't go away, folks.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, They're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:12 p.m. Pacific time. Still 67 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. A little later in the show, we'll start giving you some weather reports for around the world for where our listeners are at. But right now, let's continue with the news. You know what? A dual Somali U.S. citizen elected president in a historic vote. A former prime minister who holds dual Somali U.S. citizenship was elected Somali's president today, declaring a new era in unity as he took on the daunting task of bringing the long, chaotic country to its first fully functioning central government in a quarter of a century. Fears of attacks by the Islamic extremist Al-Shabaab dogged the historic vote, which was limited to lawmakers instead of the population at large, with members of the upper and lower houses of parliament casting ballots at a heavily guarded former Air Force base in the capital, Mogadishu, while a security lockdown closed the international airport. This victory belongs to the Somali people. The newly elected president, Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo, declared after taking the oath of office, "This is the beginning of the era of unity, the democracy of Somalia, and the beginning of the fight against corruption. There is a daunting task ahead of me, and I know that," he said. I know that, he said. Thousands of jubilant Somalis poured into the streets, chanting the new president's name as cheering soldiers fired into the air. Somali will be another Somalia soon, said Ahmed Ali, a police officer celebrating in the crowd. Well, we shall see, right? We haven't seen too many peaceful takeovers, I don't think. I can tell you this. A Phoenix man gets 30 years for helping plot the Texas attack. A man was sentenced to 30 years in prison today on charges that he provided support to the Islamic State group by helping two followers with an attempted attack on an anti-Islam event in Texas that resulted in a deadly shootout with police. Prosecutors were seeking a 50-year sentence for Abdul Malik Abdul Karim, an American-born Muslim convert who became the second person in the United States to be convicted of charges of supporting Islamic State. He was convicted of conspiring to support a foreign terrorist organization, interstate transportation of firearms, and other charges. His friends, Elton Simpson and Nadir Sufi, were the only ones killed in the May 2015 police shootout outside a Prophet Muhammad contest in Garland, Texas. A security guard was wounded, but no one else was injured. The contest featured cartoons that are offensive to Muslims. Authorities have said Karim watched videos depicting violence by jihadists with the two friends, encouraged them to launch violent attack to support the terrorist group, and researched travel to the Middle East to join Islamic State fighters. He knew what Simpson and Sufi intended to do, said U.S. District Judge Susan Bolton. Karim kept his head down as the sentence was pronounced. I had nothing to do with this crime, Karim told the judge. Yeah, nothing to do except maybe instigate it? Yeah, I would think. Well, you know what? Robert F. Kennedy's son announces a bid for Illinois governor. You know, Chris Kennedy, son of the late Senator Robert F. Kennedy, announced today that he's going to run for Illinois governor in 2018, bringing the instant name recognition of his family's political legacy to what's expected to be a sharply contested race. The Democratic businessman said Illinois is heading in the wrong direction under Republican Governor Bruce Rauner, who's seeking re-election. In an email and video sent to supporters, he talked up history of service and said he wants to restore the American dream to the people of this state. Today, I am announcing my run for governor because I love Illinois, but we have never been in worse shape, he said. We don't need incremental improvement. We need fundamental change in state government. Kennedy, who's 53 years old, is the 8th of 11 children of Ethel Kennedy and Robert Kennedy, a former U.S. Attorney General who represented New York in the Senate and was assassinated in 1968 while seeking the Democratic nomination for president. He is the nephew of former President John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Wow. Can you imagine? Yeah. I think it's fantastic if you think about it. Well, here's something that I have mixed emotions about, and I'll tell you about it afterwards. Trump criticism of Nordstrom raises a conflict of concern. Here's the deal. President Donald Trump criticized Nordstrom, the latest company, to be the focus of his Twitter attention, saying today that the department store chain that decided to stop selling his daughter's clothing and accessory line has treated her so unfairly. Though he has tweeted in the past about companies such as U.S. automakers, Boeing, and Carrier, ethics experts saw the fact that this one was about a business run by his daughter, raising conflict of interest concerns, and even carrying an implicit threat. You know, in the message, Trump said, my daughter Ivanka has been treated so unfairly by Nordstrom. She is a great person, always pushing me to do the right thing. Terrible. Posted first on his personal account, it was retweeted more than 6,000 times in less than an hour. It was also retweeted by the official POTUS account. Well, you know what? I got to tell you, I've got mixed emotions here. We all knew that Donald Trump was a successful businessman before he was actually elected president. But here's the one thing that I can say about this. He sounds an awful lot like Harry Truman, who was defending his own daughters, who, you know what? If somebody said something about my daughter or my son, to me, I don't care if I was king or president or just a lonely citizen. I'd have plenty to say about it. And I don't think that when you become president of the United States, you give up your right to defend your family. You've got every right in the world to do it. Now, is it because of a conflict? I don't know. But I can tell you where the real conflict is. Somebody attacked his daughter, and he came back to defend her. I don't personally have a problem with that. I'm not going to nitpick it. I'd do the same doggone thing. Wouldn't you? I would certainly hope so. Well, don't go away, folks, because when we come back, we're going to do the IRS Loses. That'll put a smile on your face. And you know what? And it'll send chills up and down your spine. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. association with the nationally syndicated Celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:23 p.m. Pacific time. Hey, it's 70 degrees out here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 57 degrees today. Beautiful day outside. Beautiful blue skies. Look outside the studio window and we can see snow-capped mountains outside here. It's just beautiful. And you know what? If you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you happen to be in New York City, well, you know what? It's 51 degrees and it's partly cloudy. And if you're listening to us in Chicago, Illinois, or thereabouts, it's 29 degrees and it is overcast. But I'll tell you what, let you put a smile on your face because no matter where you're at, you're probably happy and healthy. Let's talk about the IRS Loses. You know what? A return of a preparer's fraud is attributable to the taxpayer. The return preparer's fraud, is attributable to the taxpayer. A truck driver, Vincent Allen, hired a tax professional to prepare his return for him. The professional included several false deductions on the return without Allen even being aware of it. Now, the IRS found out and asserted back taxes and penalties, but Allen objected that the 3-year statute of limitations had run out on that return. The IRS answered that the fraud had been committed on the return, so the limitation period didn't apply. But Allen protested that he hadn't committed the fraud. Well, he went to court. This is what the judge said. For the IRS, here's the deal. The return was fraudulent regardless of who committed the fraud. So no limitation period applies to that. Here's the pitfall. You are responsible. You signed those returns under the penalty of perjury. No matter who's filled them out, they're your returns. And you're saying they're true and they're correct and they're accurate. Here's another one for you. Social clubs lose a tax-exempt status for receiving too much income from the public. Yeah, you heard me right. Social clubs. We're not talking about 501c3 charities. Social clubs formed for the nonprofit recreational purposes of their members can be tax exempt under the tax code, but they can receive no more than 35% of their gross receipts from non-member sources, such as investment income, and no more than 15% income from the use of the club's facilities or services by the general public, such as renting out the club facilities. Now, here's the danger. The IRS has recently issued several rulings revoking the tax-exempt status of social clubs that violated these limits. So, if you're an officer of such a club, be aware of the fact of how much income it receives from the general public, because you might lose that status. Not a good thing. Well, here's another one for you. Couldn't get to a small case tax court by disputing only part of the tax. Here's the deal. An individual protested an IRS collection action in tax court and sought to use the simplified small case division that is available for cases involving no more than $50,000. Now, here's the snag. The total tax subject to collection was more than $60,000, but the individual conceded $20,000 and contested only $40,000 of the tax bill, saying that this brought the case under the limit. Well, this is what the judge said. The tax code says that small case procedures are available when the unpaid tax that the IRS has determined to collect does not exceed $50,000. The total unpaid tax in the IRS determination letter was $60,000. Well, that was over the limit, so the small case option is not available. You got to be careful when we're dealing with these things. Now, you have heard me talk about being a fly on the wall when the IRS is doing stuff. That's where we're at right now with this segment that we call Inside the IRS. This is an awful lot like The Twilight Zone. Yeah, now, you know what? Now, these are not tax court cases, but, you've heard me say many, many times that the most valuable asset or commodity that you have is really information. Knowing what's going on the stand that, the IRS or anybody's taking for that matter. If you know in advance what they've done in the past or what they're doing now, it can help you no matter what's going on. Knowledge is just a really important and valuable commodity. Now, here's the deal. Can you claim additional damages to compensate for the income taxes that you are required to pay on a damage award that you receive? A damage award, okay? Here's the scenario. Suppose you sue for damages for lost profits. Say you worked overtime and were not paid for the extra hours, and you win. The lost profits awards is taxable, so you argue that you should also receive enough to cover the tax hit. The losing party is going to argue that you would have had to pay that income tax on the profits anyway, so you're not really entitled to extra damages. Now, there's no easy answer here. This is an emerging area in civil law. State law varies, and the nature of the damages are going to control whether you are permitted to ask for extra tax damages. The best advice here is discuss this issue with your attorney before initiating the suit. You want to make sure you got all the bases covered at the very beginning. You can actually get that extra money, but you have to present it the right way. How about this? Let's just say that you were audited and the IRS wants to reopen your case after it's been closed. You know what? Only in very unusual circumstances will the IRS attempt to re-audit an individual for a business after a case has actually been closed. Now, to reopen a case or a closed case, the IRS must show that there was fraud, malfeasance, concealment, or misrepresentation of a material fact on your part, or an important mistake in the mathematical calculations. How should you proceed if the IRS wants to reopen your case? Well, don't agree to submit to another audit until the IRS provides you with a copy of its proof that there was fraud, concealment, and all the rest of those things we talked about. But you need to be careful. This is a situation that could lead to criminal charges. Be sure to retain an experienced attorney not representative, attorney, to represent you, even if your accountant actually handled that first audit. You want to make sure that you are covered by a professional. You know what? It's CYA. You know what it stands for, right? Yeah, cover your ass. That's exactly what it is. Now, don't go away. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, I actually want to talk to you about something that you're going to find extremely interesting. I'm going to tell you how to get out of embarrassing situations. Yeah, you're not going to want to miss this. Yeah, we all go through this kind of stuff, so we'll be right back. Don't go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Leinberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:34 p.m. Pacific time. It's still 70 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California, on its way down to 57 degrees. But if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you happen to be in Paris, France, first of all, it's very late. It's 12:30 in the morning. But it's 39 degrees and it's overcast. It's cold. And if you're in Rome, Italy, listening to our show, it's 52 degrees and it's partly cloudy. But it's also tomorrow morning, so just know that. You know what? I want to talk to you about something you're going to find interesting, if not helpful, and that is how to get out of embarrassing situations. This happens to all of us, and so we might as well just be aware of what the heck's going on. When you make a mistake in a social setting, it's unusually awkward for everyone there. But the damage can be controlled if you know how to gracefully wiggle out of sticky situations. So how to handle highly embarrassing moments? Well, that's what we're going to talk about right now, and I think that you're going to find this very useful. Let's talk about someone gives you a holiday gift, but you don't have one in return. Well, you know what? Be effusive in your thanks. Just thank them up and down and back and forth and all those things, and talk about how thoughtful the gift really is. Do not apologize for your lack of a gift. It will only draw attention to the awkwardness of the situation. And as soon as you can, write a thank you note stressing how surprised you were and how much you were enjoying that gift. If it is from a business associate, you can refuse it by referring to company policy. However, be gracious, and this is really important. Do not rush to buy the person a gift. It looks phony, and you'll have to buy that person a gift next year too. So give presents only to those close to you. Keep that in mind. Just be tactful. Here's one. How about you suddenly must introduce someone whose name you've forgotten? Boy, that happens to me all the time. Doesn't it to you? Well, if it is someone that you've just met, it's an easy way around the problem to just gently touch that person's arm and say, "Forgive me, I didn't catch your name." Avoid saying, "Sorry, I've forgotten your name." It is less embarrassing not to have heard the name than to have forgotten it. And if that person that you've met before, you put your hand to your forehead and say, "I'm an absolute idiot today. I can't even remember my own name." Everybody forgets names. The person who gets most upset is the person who forgot the name, not the person whose name has been forgotten. Now, there's a key to this. Get beyond the mistake very, very quickly. You make a remark and realize that you have unintentionally hurt the person with whom you're speaking. Well, this happens frequently, especially when people feel comfortable enough to express themselves honestly. Yeah, you got that? Sure. Here's the solution to it. Do not try to undo the remark. Just move on to the next topic as quickly as possible, though. Then, when the person starts to leave the group, go up to him or her and humbly apologize. If you act genuinely upset and that your apology is heartfelt, most people are eager to forgive you. In fact, at this point, most will be more concerned about your discomfort than about their own. Use the same approach when your child makes a disparaging comment about someone's appearance. As you leave the room, whisper to the person, "I hope you can forgive my child." Here's another one for you. Let's just say you show up at a dinner party with an uninvited date, only to discover that your role was to be the eligible man or woman. Well, this is a real gaffe, and it is sometimes the unusually becomes apparent by your host immediately, and obvious discomfort is caused there. Now, here's a solution. Take your host or hostess aside and whisper your apologies. Don't tell your date about the mix-up. Otherwise, your date could feel uncomfortable. The next day, send flowers to your host with a note thanking him for the entire evening. Say that you're sorry and that you did not understand he wanted you to come alone. Now, this is important. Never ask to bring a date to anything other than a cocktail party or large buffet. If the invitation reads, "and guest," be sure to let your host know your date's name before the gathering actually takes place. Well, how about you get caught in a white lie? That happens to all of us too. You've canceled a dinner engagement with a colleague claiming urgent business, and in reality, it was the only night that you could dine with someone else. The problem occurs when a friend of that colleague spots you and tells your colleague. So here's the strategy. Apologize to your colleague the very next day, preferably in person, and say, "If I had told you the truth up front, that is what, and that this was the only night that I could see this person, I know you would have understood. I was just too embarrassed to tell you." Well, you know what? That'll pretty much cover it up. How about this? A disparaging remark that you make gets back to the person about whom it was directed. You called a colleague a jerk without realizing that his spouse was at your elbow. The solution? Everything that follows is about damage control. If possible, preempt the problem by immediately taking the spouse aside to apologize before she leaves the group. If she has already left, call her home immediately and speak to both spouses. Be sure to state that you're sorry that you were nasty without cause. Then explain that you've learned your lesson. If you've told a lie about that person, send a disclaimer to everyone present when you told the lie. That's how you do these things. Absolutely. And that's the best way to do them. You know what? Let's talk about gift giving, do's and don'ts. Yeah, you know what? There's a lot of those. Every holiday season we receive hundreds of letters. And what goes on here is to find out what the gift giving etiquette really is. Now, here are some questions that I get most often. Is it okay to re-gift? Well, sometimes, but proceed cautiously and follow these guidelines. First, the item must be brand new and in its original package. The gift should be something that the recipient would love, and it should not be something the original giver took great care to select or make for you. Regifting a nice bottle of wine or to a wine lover is fine. Regifting a crystal vase that your mother gave you is not so fine. When you doubt, don't do it. Someone with whom I was planning to exchange gifts gave me one. Do I have to reciprocate? Well, here's the deal. No, you don't. Just thank the gift giver warmly and leave it at that. Otherwise, you may start a new gift-giving tradition that is difficult to break, of course. If that's what you really would like to do, then go ahead and reciprocate and get it taken care of. Sometimes, what I do is I have a number of things that I've set aside in an emergency just like that and say, gosh, I've got something for you. I didn't have a chance to wrap it. I got it right over here. And that sometimes covers it. How about this? Let's just say that my parents gave me a very expensive television, but it's not the one I wanted. Can I ask them if I can exchange it for a different one? And here's the deal. Just be honest, especially since the gift was extravagant and your parents will expect to see it in use. First, thank them enthusiastically for the very generous gift. Try to point out something specific that requires you to return it. For example, if it's missing a feature that you were hoping for, gently suggest an exchange. Say something like, hey, Mom, Dad, this is an amazing gift, but this model doesn't have the surround sound feature that I think we would really enjoy. Would you mind terribly if I exchanged it? Well, that would go over okay, don't you think? Sure it would. How about, I've been invited to a holiday party. Should I bring a gift for the host? Well, yes, but don't bring anything that distracts the host. Food or flowers that need to be taken care of immediately are not the best kind of choices here. Keep the gift simple and the cost below $20. A bottle of wine, a small potted plant, a flower arrangement already in a vase, or perhaps a holiday ornament. There's one exception. An open house is an informal way to celebrate and doesn't require a gift for the host, though you can certainly bring one if you choose to do that. And then, how about, I mail my grandchildren their holiday presents, but they never send thank you notes. This really bothers me. Should I talk to my son? You know what? Start by calling and asking your son or daughter-in-law, or better yet, ask your grandchildren directly whether the gifts arrived safely. If the answer is yes, drop a hint with it. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Since I didn't hear from you, I was starting to wonder if the packages made it there. Did you like the gifts? If you don't think you got your message across, you'll have to be more direct. Talk frankly to your son, or if the grandkids are age 8 or older, speak to them. Tell them politely that it's important to you that they express appreciation. If it doesn't work, you may choose to stop sending gifts. Now that should get their attention, and teach your grandchildren that thank you notes mean a lot. Yeah. How about this? Should I give my boss a holiday gift? What about the people who report to me and other coworkers? Well, generally, you shouldn't give a gift to the boss. It could be seen as an attempt to win favor. However, an inexpensive gift that isn't too personal from you and the other employees is fine. If you and your boss have worked closely together for years, it's okay to give them a small gift. When you're the boss, it's up to you whether you whether you want to or not give gifts to your staff. It's certainly a nice gesture and a great way to acknowledge those who work for you. If you do decide to give gifts, give across the board. Don't give to only one department head, but not to the other two. Good gift ideas include a nice bottle of wine, gift certificates, CDs, and food items. As the co-workers are concerned, a secret Santa on which each employee draws a name and gives a gift that person, or a holiday grab bag or two, are easier ways to handle that kind of gift giving. You know what? Food gifts are also a good idea. Bring in a batch of homemade cookies or a box of chocolates to share with your colleagues. That's always a good way to go around. Now, I'm going to take a short break. When I come back, I want to tell you about how to help your kids build the right kind of friendships with the right kind of kids. Now, if you don't think that's important, it's because you don't have kids. We'll be right back after these brief messages. Don't go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay a great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. I was kind of tempted to go, and they're running, Anyway, at 3:49 p.m. Pacific time, still 70 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire. On its way down to 58 degrees. And if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in London, England, well, it's 36 degrees and it's overcast. If you're in Vienna, Australia with us today, it's 25 degrees and mostly cloudy. That means it's cold, guys. It's cold out there. You know what? Right now, I want to talk to you about how to keep or help keep your kids build the right kind of friendships with the right kind of kids. It never could be more important than in today's world. Parents have much more influence than they think over their children's choice of friends. But in our attempt to protect our children, it's important to recognize that peer relationships are vital to our children's development. It's the arena in which they learn to make decisions, to lead or follow, to become considerate and loyal, and to recover from mistakes. And how to have a positive influence over your children's choice of friends. And that's really important. You know what? De-emphasize popularity. You got to get rid of that kind of stuff. Many parents unwittingly push kids to make friends. They fret if their children aren't invited to every birthday party. They are devastated whenever their kids are rejected by the in crowd. But when you push for more popularity, your children get the message that there is something wrong with them. Now, encourage quality over quantity. The number of friends your children have is less important than if they have one or two really good friends. And if you emphasize popularity or being part of the clique, your children may become followers who go along blindly with that crowd. You know what? If children are left out or picked on by another poor group, help them recognize that it's not necessarily their fault. Instead, reassure them that it is normal, though painful, to be in 1 week and out the next. It's just the way those things work. You know what? I found that these popularity contests are more upsetting to parents than to the kids. Most kids are more resilient than we give them credit for. And you know what? Try to ride the waves of friendship fads, remembering that kids are fickle and peer groups are constantly in a state of flux. So you want to keep that in mind always. And then don't interfere without good reason. Unless your children's friends are leading them into potentially hazardous situations, resist meddling in their relationships. If you suspect the risky behaviors involved, remind your children about your dear, firm rules. I should say your clear, firm rules. Here's an example. When my kids, let's see here. I'll get that guy. Here we go. Let's just give you an example. When my kids wanted to go along with peer pressure, a phrase that we used to use was, safety is non-negotiable issue here in this family. Otherwise, allow children opportunities to negotiate their own issues and differences. Kids need time among themselves to learn how to develop their own rules, to share and to take turns, to play fair and square, to recover from bruised egos. Certainly, I don't know what the heck that was. You know what? I think that was our own Dr. Wireless got disconnected for some reason. We'll see if we get him back in here. Anyway, there he is. We got to try him again. You know what? And then, you know what? Here's the thing. Certainly there are times and places for adult supervision, but try to intervene selectively with these kinds of things. Now listen to your child. The stronger your children's self-confidence, the better they'll be able to resist negative influence of peers. Help strengthen children's egos by listening attentively when they're having trouble with their friends. Don't jump right in with ready-made solutions or criticism. Invite your children to tell you what happened before you overreact, and then listen. They're not likely to open up to you and then have you go through the roof if they think that's what's going to happen. An example of that might be, let's see, what the heck? I got the whole world going on in the wrong spot here today. There we go. You know what? Let's just give you an example. Let's just say your son comes home in tears because his friends ridiculed him for backing out of a scheme or maybe a scheme to shoplift. Let's just say it that way. Don't immediately yell, you're not spending time with those kids ever again. Instead, listen to his anguish about being ridiculed. Encourage him to talk about his feelings and praise him for being strong and taking an unpopular stand. You might say, I know that was tough. It took a lot of courage not to go along with with the guys. And I'm wondering, though, if these are kids that you really enjoy being with. Try to determine whether your child is afraid of being left out. If that's the problem, help build him or her their self-confidence by praising them when they show independent thinking. That's how you build strong relationships with your kids. And encourage individuality. You know what? Keep in mind that you and your child have different tastes and opinions. He may be attracted to people to whom you don't relate to at all, just as you and he probably don't share the same tastes in food or music or movies. I can almost guarantee that, you know. Try to respect your children's differences even when you don't like the friends that they keep. And here's something you'll find helpful. Encourage children to make choices and solve problems. Ask their opinions about people that you meet, TV shows, articles, books, and read together, for Pete's sake. When your child mentions a new best friend, don't grill him with lots of intrusive questions without your just withhold your judgment. Even if you don't like his choice of friends, don't automatically denigrate him, especially without any evidence of harmful behavior. You know what? You've got to treat your children with respect. If you've raised them this far, if you haven't already instilled in them the kind of values that you want them to have, you know it's probably too late. It's just not going to happen. Respect your children the same way you want them to respect you. Treat them as adults, as honest human beings, and level with them. Don't be oppressive. Teach them fairness, teach them honesty, and teach them justice. It'll come back to you as the biggest reward you ever got. Now, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to be with our own Dr. Wireless, Joel Saltzman. We're going to be hearing a lot of news about the new wireless technology and the things that are available. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:59 p.m. Pacific time. Currently 70 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. And you know what? If you're out in Wichita, Kansas, listening to our show, it's 34 degrees and clear. Just in case you didn't know it, that's cold, folks. But I'll tell you where it's not cold. It's where you're dipping your toes into the blue Pacific Ocean in Torrance, California. It's 63 degrees. It's partly cloudy. And if he didn't get his toes wet today, I just give up. I'm talking about our own Dr. Wireless, Joel Saltzman. Hey, Joel, you're on the air.
I knew you were going to ask me that, and not only did I get my toes wet, I did a double session.
All right. Now, you know what? You reinvigorated me now. I felt so lost the last few times.
Well, I paddled out on my 7.6 regular surfboard for about an hour, and then I came in, and then I figured, well, he's going to ask me for sure, so I paddled back out on my stand-up paddleboard. So I can tell you I surfed and stand-up paddleboard surfed today, and glad I got it done this morning because the fog rolled in, and it's pretty foggy over here now. I can't even see the beach.
Oh, honestly, really?
Yeah.
Wow. You know what? I'm looking out the studio window here. There's blue skies. It's beautiful, puffy clouds. There's snow up on the mountain behind us here, and it's just gorgeous. I can't hardly believe you got fog sitting around you.
Well, last week I could see the ocean and the snow on the mountains at the same time. I can't see either today.
Well, you know what? The last week was one of those few reasons that you realize why you live in Southern California. Now you just got to wait a little while. You'll get another repeat of that.
Isn't that the truth?
So listen, what's new in wireless technology, Joel?
Oh, we got all kinds of stuff, as we always do. I don't know if you've heard what's going on, but you heard about VZO? I've got a VZO. I don't know if you do.
No, I don't. Oh, yes. Wait a minute. VZO.
VZO is, I believe they're Taiwanese, but they're a company that manufactures, I think in Irvine, really good success story. They make flat screen TVs. You go into Costco, they're a fraction of the cost of any of the other brands. They're good looking sets. I'm staring at one right now. And I've had no reservations until I heard that I may have got a case of Verizonitis from it.
Oh, really?
You remember that?
Verizonitis?
Verizonitis. Remember that? They may not be happy about me calling it that, but remember that super cookie that Verizon got caught utilizing that was providing them with customer information without the customers knowing?
Yes, I do remember.
Well, VZO just got fined $2.2 million for tracking your TV shows.
Really?
And selling the data to third-party companies. Obviously, they're not saying this is Robert Cardoza watching this show, but it's your statistics that they're passing along without your knowledge.
Wow.
So anybody any of your listeners who happen to have a VZO, which are wonderful TVs, you did a good job finding that. It's a great value. On our Dr. Wireless, our Facebook.com/DR Wireless page, I explain how to disable the super cookie.
No, that's
so
valuable.
You're not reporting back to VZO.
Now that is valuable. You know what? It's not that they would learn anything that dramatic, but the truth is it's my information, and they haven't asked my permission to use it, and I think it's wrong for them to just usurp it.
Exactly. It's a violation of your privacy. They didn't ask you for it. They're not paying you for it. It's like me. Every single night, or not every night, but a couple nights a week, I get phone calls from these companies that want to do surveys.
Oh,
and they call me. Do you get those?
I do too. And you know what? The minute I find out is, that it's one of those calls, because they don't answer right away. A lot of times, that it's been a roto type thing, and I just immediately hang up. I'm so sick of it, and then I put them on a I put them on a block call list.
What I generally do is I let them know that they're calling after business hours. And which is a problem with me. I don't generally answer my phone during that time period, and I'm certainly not going to be engaging in any surveys. And thirdly, I tell them that I'm paid an honorarium when I speak. And I'm paid an honorarium for my opinion, and how much are they offering?
Yeah,
and usually they hang up at that point.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, I just don't have the patience to even give them that much time. I get so infuriated with that whole process. I used to just say, hey, look, I don't accept unsolicited calls, and I don't appreciate you infringing on my personal time, and I hang up on them. And that's if I can even get that out. Sometimes I sound gruff over the phone because I know it's going to be one of those things, and they hang up on me before I've had a chance to castigate them.
Sometimes I pick up the phone and don't say anything, and just wait to see what they do and then hang up.
That's good. That's good. I got to tell you, Joe, because you were talking about the Vizio televisions and, all these smart televisions. We used to talk about smartphones, right? But the televisions are that way too. And I even hate to admit this. I told you I bought this big, large Samsung television. And I was so excited because, I get Amazon and I get Apple TV and I get all the Netflix and all those things on there. But like an idiot, I've had this thing. I didn't know that I could get that's stupid. I didn't know that I could get on the internet and search anything I wanted on my television.
Oh yeah, all these new sets have internet browsers built in.
Man, I had no idea. Now, if I could just find a way to plug in a wireless keyboard instead of having to use that on-screen thing.
Very easy to do. You just buy yourself an Apple wireless keyboard. I think I told you what I did. I did this in my living room, and it works so well. I did it in my office, and I'm going to mount my screens on the wall and take it one step further. But I'm staring at a 42-inch Vizio right now, and what I did, it's a regular Vizio TV, flat screen. I bought an iMac for about $400, and I bought a wireless keypad, and a wireless mouse. So my monitor in my office is my TV, is now my computer, and I did the same thing in my living room. I have a 55-inch Mitsubishi, and as soon as I turn on the computer and bring my key, I got to buy another keyboard after. I have one that I'm sharing room to room, but it works wonderfully. And basically, it's like an iMac on steroids, and it's a fraction of the cost. Those Thunderbird monitors were very expensive.
Yeah.
So this was just kind of they're not 4,000 or 5,000K resolution. They're 1080p, but for all practical purposes, that's all anybody broadcasts anyway.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I was just surprised, and I felt so stupid when my grandson showed it to me. I said, there was something on the screen. He says, Pop, I want to show you this thing. And it was my days when I was doing television shows, and he brought up one of my television shows.
And you were shocked, but that's why you need an IT teenager around.
Absolutely. That's why, yeah. I thought, what the heck? How did you get that up there? He says, it's on the internet. It was on YouTube. I said, YouTube. Okay.
Well, fortunately, he didn't charge you to show you the technology.
Well, he's 13. He better not.
Yeah. Well, wait till he's 16.
Yeah, that's true. But you know what? He's one of these kids. He gets you because we'll be out somewhere and he doesn't say, "Hey, Papa, I want that." He'll look me right in the eye and say, "Hey, Papa, I need this." That's
funny what they need.
Yeah, that's the end of that, right?
I hear you.
Okay, I've been taking up all your time.
Nah, don't worry about it. Always good to get a little bit of dialogue. There is some neat news coming from Sony. Sony happens to make cameras, really, really good smartphone cameras, and they're making a lot of the technology for Google and Apple as is. Obviously, they're making their own stuff, and I'm sure their line is getting this stuff before they're passing it along to these other companies, but they developed a 3-layer CMOS sensor that blows the doors off any current smartphone camera.
Wow. And
what that will do for you, Robert, is this. For people who like to shoot slow motion, right now with the 7 Plus, which is as good a camera really as any out there, you have slow motion on that, but it's only 120 frames per second. Mm-hmm. The Sony product is 1,000 frames per second.
Wow.
So that's a tremendous difference, night and day difference. And for people who want professional results, I can't wait for these things to show up on the iPhones. I don't see me going out and buying a Sony Xperia Android, so I guess I'm going to have to wait for them to come to Apple.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, not so much during the Super Bowl, but on both ends of the Super Bowl, they had commercials that were actually done with iPhones and iPads.
Fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't have known it if they hadn't told you. Of course, they got some professional doing it, knows what he's doing and editing it, but man, it was unbelievable.
I must have been going to maybe it was a bathroom break, or maybe I was going to get a cold beer. I missed that T-Mobile ad. I don't know if you saw it, but T-Mobile, oh my God, it was hysterical. I just watched it earlier today, and they have that comedian, Kristen Schaal.
Yeah.
And she basically called out Verizon in the video, and I have that video on our website. And she says, I guess T-Mobile said to her at Christian Shalit, but if you want the pain of overages, Verizon can provide lots of it.
Yes.
T-Mobile One, no pain. The safe word is unlimited. So Verizon, so Christian goes, at Verizon, overages hurt so bad. Do you punish your customers that way? at T-Mobile? ? And T-Mobile answers, sorry, at Christian Shalit, but with our unlimited network, you won't feel the pain of overages. Can we still be friends? Not to be outdone, Verizon returned fire with these zingers. Here's Verizon. Unfortunately, no one will hear your safe word if you're on T-Mobile. and then Verizon comes back. Yes, at T-Mobile, we're in the BDSM, bigger coverage map, devastating speed, and massive capacity. Obviously, T-Mobile CEO always has to have the last word. So, after he got that from Verizon, he's back at Verizon, guys. It can't go any further. Calm down. And then he's got a picture of Verizon's jealousy meter, and it says not jelly and so jelly, and it's off the chart. So you think Trump has got a problem with his Twitter? The president of T-Mobile just loves tweeting.
Yes,
great stuff.
So does Donald Trump.
Yes. Also, I have something on our site about why your iPhone battery meter sometimes goes haywire. Have you noticed that?
No.
Where 1 minute you got, 80%, the next minute you're at 40%, or what happens to me is I'll have, let's say, it'll go into the red, below 20%, and I'll put it on the charger for 5 minutes, and it's at 48%. And it's not like I'm putting it in airplane mode, which would allow you to get speeds like that. So it's something that's fishy. But I don't know if you've experienced that. A lot of people are right now.
No, I haven't had that issue.
Well, you're very lucky.
Yeah,
you should feel fortunate.
I don't want to say anything because I don't want to be put the kibosh on my luck here.
Yeah, then we won't say anything. Hey, did you hear about that Tesla owner who got a shock? He got reported for child abduction.
No.
A friend of mine's got a Tesla. They have these kid seats that are in the trunk. So he was putting his kid into the car seat, and somebody thought he was hijacking this kid and putting him in the trunk of his car.
Oh, jeez.
And they called the police.
Oh, man. What happened?
Well, they let the guy go. They realized that that's where you put kids in these cars.
Wow.
And, so you might want to warn any friends that drive Teslas that if they have kids, better be careful when you put them in the car. It could be construed that you're kidnapping.
You know what? It's amazing. It's just amazing that nothing happened because the police are so overreactive these days.
I'm glad nobody got shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Because of those circumstances, what do you think the police are going to be thinking about? The child safety more than anything else, right?
Of course. Yeah. They should be.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what?
How about this one? Do you like roller coasters?
Oh, I love them, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm old, but that doesn't mean I'm decrepit,
Well, I never, even as a kid, I never liked them. And I'll never forget it. When I was 10 years old, I went to a Kiwanis Club pancake breakfast in North Miami Beach, and they had the pigs in the blankets, and I ate too many pigs in the blankets, and then I went on the roller coaster.
And somebody else wanted it. Yeah, somebody else wore it.
Sorry. Oh my God, it was terrible. And ever since then, I've hated them. I mean, I'll do a little Space Mountain every now and then if I'm at Disneyland, but that's where I draw the line. Six Flags and Samsung have teamed up for a new mixed reality roller coaster ride.
Really?
Can you imagine this? I can't handle it with my eyes open. What they do is they give you a Samsung Gear VR, and you put this thing on, and it's virtual reality. To me, it would be Puke City, but for other people, who knows? If you like it, give it a try. I'd love to hear.
So you never leave the station. It's all virtual reality.
Oh, you're leaving? No. You're on the roller coaster.
Oh.
You just have these glasses on at the same time.
That sounds cool. That sounds cool. I've been watching these commercials with these virtual reality things, and these folks they make it look really, really enticing.
Well, I'm not saying I'm not interested in virtual reality and augmented reality. I just don't like the roller coaster part of it. And I wouldn't even want to put on a pair of those things to make me feel like I was on a roller coaster.
So you never ever got to where you enjoyed those kind of rides, huh?
Never. I drop in on a 6-8 foot wave, and that's pretty much these days.
Well, isn't that a lot like a roller coaster? Only you've got a lot of balance. I can remember doing the tilt-a-whirl and doing the mad teacups at Disneyland.
Used to scare the heck out of me.
Love those things.
Well, here's the thing, Robert. It's one thing to put your heart in your throat. When you're dropping in on a 10-foot wave, it's not really an elective. It's not by choice. But when you get on a roller coaster, to do that by choice, it's just a different. I don't know.
Wait a minute. When you got that board and you went over the crest of that wave and you stood up on both feet, that was not by choice?
Well, it's by choice when you paddle out, and sometimes you take off late, and it's a much bigger drop than you thought it was.
Yeah, you know what?
So it's by choice when you started, but when you eat it, it is. You start wondering.
I'm guessing
that it was a bad choice.
Yeah, I'm guessing that at the crest of that wave, it's looking pretty high, no matter how big that wave is.
Well, not for me. I'm not a daredevil these days. I'm too old for that big stuff. I leave that for the young kids.
Well, smart man. You're a smart man. Your bones have already been tested. They've already passed the test. Let's not give them any stress.
They don't heal as quickly. Is the problem. Well, I'm guessing we're probably running out of time.
Well, we actually have. Let's see. We have 2 minutes.
All right. Well, then I will maybe throw a plug or two.
Okay.
Everything I'm going to talk about and a few things we did talk about are on Facebook.com/DR Wireless. I also have some content on my personal page, which I'm realizing I should share. Joel Saltzman. Anybody who wants to friend me can get that content. And www.drwireless.com/blog is where we put all of the news. When we come back, we're going to be talking about a few things, a few specials that are going on right now. And I think that there is some exciting stuff coming up very soon.
Okay, and you know what? And did you get the text from Apple about every once in a while they send you off a slew of new tips on how to use your iPhone? And this latest one was really pretty slick. My grandson, he does things with his Apple. I don't even know how he learned to do them. Sending these different texts with different blasts and balloons and all the different things that he does with them. These tips that they're sending out are pretty interesting.
They did send me some tips, and unfortunately, I never opened it up yet. That was on my list. I also have, before we go, BGR Wireless, one of my favorite content providers. They're listing their 8 free iPhone applications today. I wasn't that impressed, really, with any of them, so I'm not using... I don't think any one of them I took, but any of your users who are interested, BGR Wireless, 8 free paid applications are available.
Okay, well, we're talking to our own Dr. Wireless, Joel Saltzman. We're going to be back with Joel with more information about the wireless technology and wireless news after these brief messages. Do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:22 p.m. Pacific time. Currently 69 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. If you're listening to us from our globally syndicated network and you're in Madrid, Spain, well, it's cold. It's 36 degrees and it's clear. And if you're in Tokyo, Japan, listening to our show, it's also 36 degrees and it's overcast. But I'll tell you what, there is no frost on my good buddy, Dr. Wireless, Joel Saltzman. Joel, you got the microphone.
Well, thank you, Robert. I wanted to bring up an article I read today. One of my colleagues, analyst colleagues at BGR.com, Chris Mills, did an interesting piece, and it was called Verizon Has Lost Its Only Advantage Over T-Mobile. How's that for a title?
Can you hear me?
Wonder.
So can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? I got a story about that dude coming up.
Okay.
But basically, Chris says T-Mobile is cheap and Verizon is good. That's the logic that's guided people's choice of cell phone carriers for years. But according to the biggest test of networks in the U.S., it's no longer true. Open Signal, which is one of the most respected testing, independent testing companies out there, just published its State of Mobile Networks USA report, and the results will make bad reading for Verizon execs. And that's because T-Mobile and Verizon are now tied for first place in network speed and within spitting distance of each other on every other metric.
Wow.
In every way that can be measured, T-Mobile's network is just as good as Verizon's. Now, I've been telling you and your users for the last 3 months or so that all of a sudden Verizon has begun competing pretty vociferously with T-Mobile. In the past, Verizon wouldn't do anything unless AT&T did it first. In the past, it was AT&T and Verizon, the 800-pound gorillas competed with each other, and they looked down on Sprint and T-Mobile as non-competitive and comparing apples with pears. That's no longer true. So that being said, where do you think that puts AT&T and Sprint?
Wow. Now they're the ones that are having to fight for the competing, right?
Well, AT&T is fighting for third place right now. Sprint is squarely in fourth place, and it just makes me wonder. The "Can you hear me now" dude is now the 1% dude who says that Sprint is within 1% of Verizon. I don't know 1% of what.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Well, you know what? But for the last year or so that you've been doing this show, you convinced me that T-Mobile has been the driving force of change in the wireless technology and the wireless industry. Am I mistaken?
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, who do you think got rid of contracts?
Yeah.
Who do you think got rid of subsidies? Who do you think got rid of data overages? Who do you think got rid of roaming overages? Who do you think started offering global roaming in 140 countries, data and text for free? Who do you think started offering Wi-Fi dialing 8 years ago? Verizon doesn't offer it yet. Verizon will be offering it as soon as 10.3 comes out. Wow. Today, you cannot do Wi-Fi dialing on a Verizon phone. T-Mobile's offered it for 8 years. We talked about this previously, about how AT&T wanted the PUC and FCC to fine T-Mobile for jumping the gun because T-Mobile did this 8 years ago, the same week that AT&T and Apple released the first iPhone. T-Mobile came out with what they called UMA, Unlicensed Mobile Access. It was Wi-Fi dialing. It was brilliant. Now, Verizon doesn't need this for coverage. T-Mobile came out with it in the U.S. because they needed the subsidized coverage 8 years ago. They stunk 8 years ago compared to Verizon as far as breadth of coverage. Verizon, though, could use this for the roaming implications. As we've talked about in the past, when you go overseas, if you've got an iPhone that supports Wi-Fi dialing, if you find a Wi-Fi network overseas, you can call. If you're in Paris, France, you can call Paris, France for totally free. You can call back to your home network, the U.S., for totally free, and anybody in the world can call you for totally free for you as well using Wi-Fi. So that's the benefit of Wi-Fi. So Verizon users, there's daylight at the end of the tunnel. As soon as 10.3 comes out, you will be able to use Wi-Fi dialing. You're the only carrier that does not offer this yet. So that's Verizon. Now, going back to T-Mobile. T-Mobile did something, I don't know if you heard about this. I'm sure you did because I think we discussed it. The latest thing they've done is this. They've done away with fees and taxes.
Yes, you told me. Matter of fact, it was in the last show you talked about it.
Yep. The price you see is the price you pay. And what that means is they've actually done away with bucket plans. They did away with their simple plans now. All they offer is unlimited data, unlimited voice, unlimited text. Now, it's not the cheapest. Unfortunately, it's $70 for the first line, $50 for the second line, and then it's $20 for lines 3 through 8. So as you can see, it gets cheaper as you add lines. It's $20 for tablets. It's $5 for wearable watches, stuff like that. But there is no fees, no public utility commission fees, no carrier recovery fees. no state taxes, no city taxes, no federal taxes.
No surprises.
It's unbelievable. So for a family of 4, it's $160 out the door, all you can eat, everything.
Out the door, all you can eat. Yeah.
I mean, and this is why the other carriers are having fits, because T-Mobile not only is offering crazy rates, they're delivering great service. So I'm bullish on Verizon. I'm bullish on T-Mobile right now. Not so much on Sprint and AT&T now. I feel about them.
Yes, I do.
So what can you do? Now, and the other thing we've talked about, one of the things I've liked about T-Mobile is for global travelers, how do you beat their offering? With their regular plan, they give you 140 countries, data and text included. They give you an option. If you add $15 a month, you get unlimited 4G LTE data on your phone, but you're getting also unlimited HD video day passes, 2 times faster unlimited data, and so it's 3G instead of 2G in the 140 countries. Voicemail to text is included. Unlimited Wi-Fi sessions on airplanes that have go-go. I mean, that's strong.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So they make it real easy for travelers. And the beauty is you get off the plane, you turn your phone on, everything works. No longer having to call Joel and having me call the carrier and calendaring bolt-on roaming plans. I love it. It's just much easier for me.
You know what? I really believe that simplifying business is more profitable to these companies than making it so confusing and then alienating their customer.
Exactly. And I'm all about simplifying business. I mean, that's what I do for a living. With that voice in the cloud virtual PBX solution I'm using, I'm loving it. I don't know if you've tried calling me now on my office phone, but that's all I'm using right now. People call me on my office phone, and the system tracks me down like the dog that I am, and it will find me. And people are amazed at how it works. But it's a very professional voice in the cloud system that's cheaper than a traditional voice line these days.
So now you've got a waterproof iPhone that you carry in your back pocket of your swimming
No, I don't do that. I told you. I actually have a waterproof case for my iPhone. Mm-hmm. And I have taken it out a couple times, stand-up paddling. I haven't taken it out surfing yet.
No, I just want to call you when you're on the. What the heck was that noise?
Oh, that was my cell phone. I forgot to put it on stun.
Yeah. It's sort of like the Whistler calling, right? Anyway, I just can't wait to call you when you're on your board paddling, and your switchboard transfers me over to your board while you're knee deep in water.
I'll tell you a funny story about that. I have a very dear friend of mine who bought one of the first waterproof cases and one of the first iPhone 6s, and I couldn't believe he trusted the case, but he paddled out. What he likes to do is he's got waterproof headphones, so he likes to listen to music while he's surfing, and his waterproof headphones have a microphone on it so he can take phone calls. So one day I was in the parking lot watching him surf with a buddy of mine, and I said, watch this, let's give him a call, because we knew he was listening to music. We knew his phone was on. And so he was just getting ready to take off on a wave. He was paddling, and I waited for him to start paddling, figuring he wouldn't be able to answer the call. I was curious to see what he would do. So he didn't answer the call. He rode the wave. It went to voicemail, and then he paddled back out, and after he paddled back out, he called me back, and he said, sorry, I was a little tied up. I couldn't answer the phone. But I don't want to go there. That's my only peace and quiet. So that's the one place I don't have to worry about answering phones.
You got to love technology, but there are times when don't you just wish that you were unavailable?
Well, that's what voicemail is for.
Yeah.
And with this new system I have, you can call my office number, and you have an option of leaving me a voicemail. You can leave me an SMS message. You can send me a fax. You can do whatever you want. It will track me down, You can put in my extension. It'll call me on my cell phone. I'm just very pleased with this system. It's really simplified things. I don't have to give out email addresses and multiple phone numbers and fax numbers. And I love getting these faxes, on the computer because you keep them. Mm-hmm. That's always been my problem with the faxes, Robert. With the carriers, they always wanted us to send faxes, even with email. They never would allow us to send emails. If I'm doing an upgrade on your account or doing something, it was always send the fax. And I always felt that they didn't want to be accountable. To me, you can send faxes and get confirmation that the fax was delivered, and then you talk to the person it was delivered to, and they swear up and down they never got it. So I always thought there was like a fifth dimension where all those faxes went that were confirmed that they went somewhere, but they never arrived.
That's the way it used to be when I was in private practice and we'd send things into the IRS or into the tax court. It had to be by fax. It couldn't be emailed. They didn't let you do that. And they always had an excuse. Oh, we didn't get it yet, or we don't have it yet.
You never knew if they got it. That's the problem. And that's the beauty of email is the accountability.
Yeah. Yeah. Matter of fact, that's how, we were talking earlier about Trump and all of these things. I don't know if you had a chance to watch the appeals court, the other night when the three judges were listening to the arguments from the Department of Justice and the AG from Washington. But it was amazing because they were not only doing this via a conference call on their wireless systems, but they were actually emailing and texting stuff back and forth instantly, and they would get the guy sending it would get an instant verification. Yeah, they received it and they've read it.
Yeah, that technology's been out for a long time before BlackBerry. In fact, SBC had a device which was actually the first BlackBerry. It didn't even have voice. It was just texting. And I had a employee of mine who hated it because I would send him a text and it would not only show me what time he received the text, but it would show me the second he opened it. So if I told him, hey, I need you to make one last delivery on a Friday afternoon at 4:00, and he'd tell me Monday, oh, I didn't get your message, I'd say, baloney. Yeah. You got it at 4:23 and you opened it at 4:27, so don't go there.
So, talking about texts, are they in the cloud somewhere? Because I know that, they can be retrieved, except you can't. If you erase them, you can't. But they're still out there somewhere, aren't there?
Yes, and the text that I'm using with Ring Central, I can pull up on my screen. Mm. So the SMSs remain forever. Very cool feature.
Yeah,
very happy with that.
One of the interesting things I found is if I, because I just erase everything, I just eliminate it. But one of the search functions on here, if I do a search for, let's just say I search Joel Saltzman, it's not only going to bring up the emails that I send to you, it'll actually bring up previous texts.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. It kind of picks and chooses when it wants to do it. I don't know how it decides, but every once in a while, I'll get a list of text that I sent out.
Interesting.
Anyway,
I know we're going to run out of time, but I wanted to make one last point, and that's this.
Okay.
We need to stand up again, for net neutrality. I am very concerned that Donald Trump got rid of Thomas Wheeler, the previous FCC commissioner, mm-hmm. and Thomas Wheeler was president of the CTIA, Cellular Telephone Industry Association, which would make you think he would be favoring those companies and not the consumer. But this guy was very fair for everybody. He was fantastic for consumers. He fought for net neutrality, and he's out, and Ajit Pai is in now, replaced him, and this guy is allegedly a shill. Yeah. He's allegedly a shill for the big companies. He's going to be totally against net neutrality. Small companies like Netflix and Hulu are going to really have an uphill battle, and consumers are going to have it tough as well. They want to cut special deals for the big companies. They're pro-mergers. this is very bad for consumers. So we all need to stand up and fight for net neutrality.
Well, the way to get that is not to go to Donald Trump. It's to go to Jared Kushner or to go to Ivanka Trump and get them on your side, because it seems to me that they're the only two people that can change Trump's mind, and maybe Bannon.
Did you see the Saturday Night Live skit?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, wasn't that great?
That was hysterical. He was asking if Jared and Ivanka were gone.
Hey, my friend, we are not only out of time, but we are way out of time. Give out some contact information real quick, and then we'll talk to you on next Wednesday.
All right, www.drwireless.com/blog, Facebook.com/drwireless. And anything we talked about, you can contact me, joel@drwireless.com, for further elaboration.
All right, my friend, have a safe week, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday.
Stay dry. We're getting rain Friday.
Yeah, we sure are. Big rain. Okay. The rest of you folks, stay tuned, because when we come back, we'll be doing the birthdays for the day, the secret daily teaching for your life, and interesting but useless facts. We got some good stuff. Don't go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:42 p.m. Pacific time. It's currently 69 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in Southern California. And if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in Sydney, Australia, well, it's 84 degrees and it's clear. And if you're in Auckland, New Zealand, it's 70 degrees and it's mostly cloudy. But you know what? Right now, what I want to talk to you about is a positive mental attitude. You control everything in your life. You decide if you're going to be happy, sad, rich, poor, a success, or a failure. You decide how the people around you are going to respond. You do it every single morning. And you look in the mirror and you say, man, I'm going to have a fantastic, wonderful, productive, profitable life today. And I'm going to make everybody around me glad that they are. It's all about that positive mental attitude. I swear to God, you adopt a positive mental attitude and your entire life is going to change. Well, our secret for today is you most likely know of someone who is thin and eats like a horse, right? And they proudly declare, I can eat whatever I want and I'm always the perfect weight. And so the genie in the universe says, your wish is my command. Yeah. You want to lose weight? Think it. Believe it. Eat, breathe, walk, talk. The fact that you're going to lose weight. Don't overeat and think you're going to lose weight. Just be aware of what's going on there. But you know what? It's time for us to talk about some birthdays for today. You know what today is. It's February the 8th. And a lot of people are celebrating birthdays today. And you know what? Not only are a lot of people celebrating birthdays today, but there's some, I always give you notable birthdays. Today's not going to be any different. You know, it's February the 8th. And I'll tell you what, this fella in 1931, he was born in 1931, died in 1955, an actor. His status as a cultural icon is best embodied in the title of his most celebrated film, Rebel Without a Cause, in which he starred as a troubled L.A. teenager. Happy birthday, James Dean. Yes, sir. And here's a guy that most all of us know. He was born in 1940, a broadcast journalist, best known as the anchor for Night Time, or actually it's Nightline. Ted Koppel's birthday today. Happy birthday, Ted. And then finally, born in 1974, an actor, comedian, voice actor, and Emmy Award nominated television producer. Happy birthday to Seth Green. Yeah, well, you know what? I just know that you're wondering what happened today in history. Well, I do too sometimes. So I'm going to tell you what happened today in history. So sit back and relax. And let me tell you, on February the 8th, 1692, a doctor in Salem Village, Massachusetts Bay Colony suggests that two girls in the family of a village minister may be suffering from bewitchment, leading to the Salem witch trials. Yeah. And on this date in 1915, D.W. Griffith's controversial film, The Birth of a Nation, premieres in Los Angeles. And then finally, on February the 8th, 1952, Elizabeth II is proclaimed Queen of England, or Queen of the United Kingdom. Yeah, 1952. Can you imagine? That's wow. Long time. How about, you know what? Our quote for today comes from none other than Ernest Hemingway. And Ernest says, when people talk, listen completely. Most people never listen. Isn't that the truth? They don't even want to know what you have to say. You know what? It's time for us to give you those interesting but useless facts. We've always got a number of them, and hopefully you enjoy these. You know what? They're fun to do and fun to listen to. Did you know that in the United States, a pound of potato chips costs 200 times more than a pound of potatoes? Give that some thought. Yeah. How about this? In 1865, several veterans of the Confederate Army formed a private social club in Pulaski, Tennessee, called the, you ready? Ku Klux Klan. Yeah. Started in 1865. Well, the world's first chocolate candy was produced in 1828 by Dutch chocolate maker Conrad J. van Houten. He pressed the fat from roasted cacao beans to produce cocoa butter, to which he added cocoa powder and sugar. Yeah. And we got addicted and have been ever since. Did you know that apparently I misspelled it? It's Sinterklaas. Thanks to the unnamed person from Holland who corrected me. Sinterklaas, not Santa Claus, Sinterklaas. Well, how about this? Did you know that some Chinese-made hairbands were fashioned from recycled condoms? You know what? I don't even want to think about that. I'm not even the least bit interested in thinking about that. Did you know that left-handed people have an excellent ability to multitask? I wonder why that is. Well, here's one for you. In the news a lot. Bill Cosby was the first black to win a Best Actor Emmy. Yeah, for The Cosby Show. And did you know that the Miss America pageant made its network TV debut on ABC in 1954? Now, Miss California, Leanne Merriweather, was crowned the winner. Now, for those of you that don't remember Leanne, what a beautiful, beautiful young girl she was. Yeah. And did you know heliophobia is the fear of sunlight? You thought it was going to be helicopters, didn't you? But it's the fear of sunlight. Well, let me leave you with this one. You may have seen baby gorillas being carried on the back of their mothers, but for the first few months after birth, the mother holds the baby gorilla to her chest. Yeah. You know what? I think I got time for one last one. Sting got his name from a black and yellow striped sweater that he would wear a lot. I have, because he looked like a bee, right? Absolutely. Now listen, don't go away. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to do our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. Today's story, Telltale. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be right back, folks.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39. A complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And it's time for our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. You know what? The American Broadcasting Company calls him the biggest voice in America. He's Paul Harvey, and each week millions of listeners, viewers, and readers awaited his unraveling of the mysteries of events in the lives of people past and present. He was heard on over 1,400 radio stations, seen on 110 television stations, and read in over 300 newspapers. The rest of the story has for years been exploring the byways of history with revelations that are intriguing, amusing, and surprising. Actually, he could read a lot better than I could. That's a good thing. But right now, today's story is Telltale. Yeah. You know what? The accuracy of lie detector tests has never been completely decided upon. Although it is inadmissible as evidence in court, even the proponents of lie detector testing agree that the tests themselves do not always tell the truth. Among the very first lie detectors, coincidentally, considered by some to have been the most accurate, was the donkey's tail. Yeah. You know what? In ancient India, a suspect would be escorted to a darkened room. Only 3 would be present: the accused, the interrogator, and the donkey. Now, the person being questioned was told that the donkey would bray if his responses were not truthful, and he was then taken and asked to hold the donkey's tail. Now, in the 1970s, the lie detector business grew rapidly. More and more companies, banks, stores, warehouses, and factories are using polygraph profiles of their employees. Some firms are now rejecting job applications if the applicant refuses to take a lie detector test. Shops and distributors are calling it shrinkage. What it is pilferage. Goods stolen by employees. The Zahn Corporation, the largest polygraph testing outfit in the world, has provided statistics which indicate that shoplifting by shop workers is at an all-time high and climbing every single year. Of course, there is the sometimes inaccuracy of the polygraph itself. Despite the precise multiple measurement of the object's or subject's blood pressure, respiration, and electric conductivity of the skin, these measurements will not vary if the subject actually believes what he says, that is. In other words, if a man really believes that he is Napoleon, a polygraph will prove that he is Napoleon. Now, forerunners of the modern-day lie detector include a portable unit developed in 1930. As early as 1895, an Italian physiologist invented what is called the hydropsychomorograph, which simply recorded variation in pulse. Then there were the galvanometer and the pneumonometer. Easy for you to say, right? Pneumonograph. There we go. Now, perhaps none of these early devices was as tried and true, as deadly accurate as the donkey's tail. I'm going to run that one right by you one more time. In East India, hundreds of years before Christ, when a crime was committed and the suspects apprehended, each suspect was individually submitted to questioning. He was taken into a darkened room, accompanied only by an interrogator and a donkey. He was informed that the donkey would bray if a lie was told, and he was asked to hold the donkey's tail. But the suspect was never told that the donkey's tail was covered with black soot. So those who feared the donkey's telltale bray in the darkness of the interrogation chamber dared not touch the donkey's tail. They would emerge with clean hands, guilty. That was the rest of the story. And you know what? Isn't that amazing? That's just crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Tomorrow it's going to be a much nicer story. This wasn't a bad one. But tomorrow we're going to talk about the gift of life. You're not going to want to miss it. It's a phenomenal story. A little bit longer than today's story, but the end is going to really grab you. So don't forget. And on my next show tomorrow, Sean LaFave and I were going to be talking about healthcare on the Geared for Wellness corner. Not sure exactly what subject we're going to talk about, or if we're just going to jump around on news issues. We'll see what happens. And then I'm going to continue our tributes to the late great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story, as I told you earlier. And then please, I'm going to ask you to tell your friends to listen to our show here on the RLC Broadcasting Network. They'll be glad you did. You'll be glad you did, and I promise you, I'll be very, very happy and glad that you did too. You know what? That's how we're going to get the word out about our show.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.